Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, I'm Lauren. I do random content on my channel whenever I can. So over the course of a couple of months, I have gotten so many requests from you guys to talk about the Winx Club Iceberg, which it's finally here. I really found interest in this video mainly because I grew up with Winx Club. So before we get started with the video, I do want to stress there are going to be spoilers for Winx Club and a little bit of stuff from Winx Club, the Fate series that came out on Netflix. So if you haven't seen the original Winx Club, then I'd say click off this video. The Winx Club Iceberg that I made takes inspiration from two different icebergs. One from icebergcharts.com and one from Star-Lord Floofer on Reddit. I decided to also add some information myself into this iceberg. Anyway, so without further ado, get some snacks, get a drink, sit back, relax, and let's get started with the video.
It's the power of Charmix, your magical line. The power of Charmix, and you are shining bright. Spread your wings and fly.
The several dubs of Winx Club. So there were several dub versions of Winx Club that went around. Probably the most notable ones were the 4Kids dub and the Nickelodeon dub. Particularly the Nickelodeon dub was what I grew up with as I started watching the show on Nickelodeon. So as most fans know, Winx Club is originally in Italian. So the many different dubs that took on the English version was 4Kids Entertainment that took on seasons 1 through 3, Cinelume, which I'm sorry if I butchered that, took on seasons 1 through 4, Atlas Oceanic Sound and Picture, also known as the Nickelodeon dub, took on seasons 3 through 6, DuArt Film and Video, dubbed season 7, and 3 Beep Incorporated, dubbed season 8. My main all-time favorite was the Nickelodeon one, as I grew up with it. I had always watched Nickelodeon as a kid, so one time I remember I was like 6 or 7, I turned on the TV to watch something and I see Winx Club and I fell in love with it. I still remember to this day. And another big reason why I loved the Nickelodeon dub was because it incorporated a lot of the Nick actors into the voice acting, such as Ariana Grande as Diaspro, Elizabeth Gillies as Daphne, Kiki Palmer as Alicia, and Daniela Monet as Mitzi. And I always loved hearing the voices of celebrities that I watched on these shows, and it was very interesting to me, honestly. Now, all of the Winx Club series is on YouTube, and I was able to rewatch it a couple of months ago, starting into quarantine, because why not? You know, I wanted to relive my childhood. And the main dub that is used in the YouTube version is the Cinelume dub. Now, the Cinelume dub is probably the closest to the original source material, as it sticks to the maturity of it, which I think 4Kids and Nickelodeon didn't do really well on. And this is no hate to the voice actors of any of the dubs, but I think the Cinelume one was the best as it did stick to the original source material. And this is just my opinion, of course. But anyways, so yeah, if you want to watch it on YouTube, it is on there. So go right ahead and rewatch Winx Club, because why not? After this video, go do that. Because yes, World of Winx. World of Winx is a spin-off series of Winx Club. The series was mainly on Netflix, and you can still go watch it for yourself. I personally never watched World of Winx, and neither did I finish watching all of Winx Club. I stopped after the Sirenix season, because after that, in my opinion, I believe the designs of the characters made them much younger, and they never actually aged. They just kept going back to when they were in high school, this and that, right? Basically, the series never ended. And I don't know, I just also didn't like how there was whitewashing of certain characters, which I'll get more into that in the next layer. World of Winx only had 2 seasons until it was canceled, and I'm just going to admit, Dreamix was really pretty. I will admit that. It was a really pretty transformation. As much as I wasn't a fan of World of Winx, I love the transformation. I will admit to you all that. Inspired by Sailor Moon. Now, Sailor Moon is a very well-known anime and was very popular in the 90s, particularly in Italy. Many people can agree that certain aspects of Winx Club derived from Sailor Moon, but a lot of people still have the question on if Winx Club blatantly copied Sailor Moon. I personally don't know about this, as there are blatant similarities to it, and there are minor differences, such as Winx Club having a total of 6 girls and Sailor Moon having more girls, and then their powers being completely different. Like, Winx Club is mainly Earth powers, I guess you can say in a way, while Sailor Moon has to do with the planets. And I think one big difference that Winx Club had over Sailor Moon was that Winx Club was mainly notable for its first couple of seasons. And that was it, because I think after the Sirenix season, in my personal opinion, the show went downhill after that. And I'll explain more in the next couple of layers. But I think that's what many people remember is the original couple of seasons of Winx Club before World of Winx and all that stuff happened. Fate the Winx Saga. Ah yes, the live action Winx Club that I personally did not like. I am so sorry, but this is my opinion. A lot of people were very, very hyped to hear that Winx Club was going to be getting a live action version. But in my opinion, it wasn't good, as they completely disregarded the original source material when it came to the characters or personalities, and even the backstories, which I think could have stayed. You get me? Because the show was already mature. For a children's show, Winx Club was very mature in the first couple of seasons. So the show came out in 2021 with 1 season, and I did watch it and give an opinion on the first episode for my channel, and I did do a reaction to the trailer, which there was already the controversies within the trailer and the show itself, because the show was mainly notable for having whitewashing and Techno not being in Fate, as well as Flora. So Techno was nowhere in Fate, and I'll explain this later on in the layer of this video. And Flora was replaced by Terra. And the rest of the characters, in my opinion, their personalities changed, particularly Stella, and I was so upset. Because Stella seemed very uptight, in my opinion, and she was never like that in the original Winx. She was Bloom's best friend, this and that, and for some reason, I felt like it portrayed Bloom and Stella as enemies, and I didn't like that, in my opinion. But of course, I grew up with the original source material. Okay, I don't want to make this a rant, but anyways, so Fate the Winx Saga has been rumored to have gotten greenlighted for a season 2, which I don't know when it's going to come out, but supposedly Flora is going to be coming in to Fate. So we'll get into that later, as this is a part of the iceberg. Whitewashing in Fate and in Winx Club. I think Winx Club was a big staple in the early 2000s and 2010s of diversity in children's media, as many people who grew up watching Winx Club saw diverse characters like Musa, who is Asian, Aisha, who is black, and Flora, who is Hispanic/Latina. I honestly really liked that growing up, as it showed representation for all these different people who are watching it. Now, World of Winx was primarily known for the characters like Flora and Aisha being very light-skinned in the animation, which a lot of people weren't happy with, because, you know, these characters were darker in the original seasons of Winx Club, and now they just became much lighter. Now, in Fate the Winx Saga, the main controversy surrounded Musa and Terra. Now, Terra is supposed to be Flora's cousin, so I don't really know how the controversy did come up, but I think it did come up as a problem, as many people did think Terra was supposed to replace Flora. But Flora is said to have a season 2 appearance, but it hasn't been confirmed yet. The main controversy / criticism that came about was towards Musa's actress Elijah Applebaum, as the actress is rumored to be 1/4 Singaporean, but it has not been confirmed by the actress. Bloom, Sky, and Stella love triangle in Fate. As most Winx Club fans know, Sky and Stella were never together. It was always Bloom and Sky. Stella was always with Brandon, and they made such a cute couple. So I don't know why in the Fate the Winx Club series, Stella was with Sky. In my opinion, it was just kind of like, why? Why?
Why? Why? Why? Why? Why?
4Kids censorship. Now, 4Kids is primarily known for censoring a lot of anime, as 4Kids was the main dubbing company back in the early 2000s for different animes in Western media. According to the Winx Club wiki, 4Kids Entertainment dubbed the first 3 seasons of Winx Club into American English in the mid-2000s, starting in 2004 and ending when the 4Kids contract to dub over the series was revoked permanently in 2009. After that, in 2011, Viacom, aka Nickelodeon, took over and dubbed the rest of the series. Series creator Igno Straffi, I'm sorry if I butchered his name, had previously mentioned in an interview in 2008 that he heavily disliked 4Kids' censored re-edits of the show, which were not approved by himself or any other Rainbow crew members. He was quoted saying, "I think 4Kids removed something essential." Several changes were made, such as personalities of the characters, like Musa being a hip-hopper and Stella being more hot-headed, names such as Domino to Sparks, and transitions. Pop Pixie. Pop Pixie was a spin-off series of Winx Club in which it follows the cast of Pixies that first made an appearance in Season 2. The series released in 2011 and only has 1 season. Winx x Nickelodeon. Like mentioned earlier, Nickelodeon was involved in Winx after 4Kids, in which they are a co-producer of Winx Club. A lot of people probably grew up watching the Nickelodeon version, as Winx Club was mainly shown on Nickelodeon, and I personally grew up watching it on the Nickelodeon version, like I said earlier. Because of the partnership with Nickelodeon, Winx Club was able to have a line of dolls as well as a lot of merchandise. I remember so vividly that I had a Bloom doll, the Believix Bloom doll. My sister had the Adisha Believix doll, and we both shared the Stella Believix doll, and I also had the costume for Believix for Bloom, because I was a big fan of Bloom, right? And I also remember the Happy Meal toys that were released for the new season of Believix. And I remember having all of them. We had all of them, and I think I sold them at a garage sale. I would show them for this video, but I don't have them anymore. Okay, guys, so I thought I didn't have a doll. I thought my sister and I literally sold everything. I probably was the only one who sold stuff, but look, I found her Aisha doll in this dollhouse. This was the Believix one she had, the shoes. I don't know what happened to the wings, though. But yeah, these were so nice dolls, and I sold mine for probably $6. You know how sad that makes me now? In my defense, I kept my Bloom doll in such good condition because I was like 8 when I got it. I kept it in such good condition. I had lost the wings though. I think I sold it with the wings. But anyways, I'm sad. That just brought back memories. Began production in 1999. Winx Club aired in 2004, but the production goes all the way back to 1999 through the form of Magic Bloom. Magic Bloom does have its own entry on this list, so I will talk about it when the time comes. But for right now, Magic Bloom is the partially found 1999 Winx Club pilot. Adult jokes. Oh my god, rewatching Winx Club, I had no idea how many adult jokes were in the show. But the thing is, they're funny and I love it so much. I have seen several compilations on YouTube of adult jokes in Winx Club that I just really want to show you guys because they are so funny watching them now as a teenager. And honestly, I think that's what made the show very funny, because they actually acted like teenagers, because teenagers make jokes like that all the time. And looking at it now in a teenage perspective, I honestly laugh at all of them.
Headmaster Saladin, what could be so important that you simply had to pay me a visit in the middle of the night?
That gold digger isn't queen yet.
Tekna not in Fate. One of the biggest problems a lot of original fans of Winx Club had was that Tekna was nowhere in Fate. And I honestly had a problem with it also, because Tekna did make up the original Winx cast, and for her to be gone was really sad. According to an article from Screen Rant, Tekna could appear in some form in the Fate series. She would just need to be changed a bit to fit with the new world of Winx. In the cartoon, Tekna comes from Zenith, the realm of technology, and wields magic over all manner of technological things. For obvious reasons, that power set doesn't quite fit in the more realist fantasy of Fate or its adherence to a 6-element magic system. The best option might be to make her an air fairy, as it has already been shown that air fairies can wield power over electricity. Name changes in the dubs. The biggest well-known name change in Winx Club that occurred was Arisha/Layla. Arisha was the original name in the Italian dub, which Nickelodeon went with in their dub, and there was never an official reason for why 4Kids changed Arisha's name to Layla. On Reddit, the question was asked in the r/Winx Club subreddit, why was Arisha's name changed to Layla? One user, Coven_Supreme, gives a possible explanation as to why. Winx Club was originally a full Italian produced show, and Arisha was her original name. When it was dubbed over into other languages, they went with Layla for some reason. I don't think an official reason was ever given as to why, but I saw a TikTok where someone speculated that dubbing companies didn't want to possibly offend Muslim majority countries. Arisha was the name of one of Prophet Muhammad's wives, so they did not want to receive backlash through that name association. Thin designs of the characters. I think a lot of this did come from parents, as I do recall some sort of controversy being made about the designs of the characters and how some of the girls look way too thin. I believe the creator of Winx Club got the inspiration from those model sketches that you see in like the outfits and stuff. I believe that's where he got his inspiration. I can't find anything on this, but I can swear to you all, I remember that this was some sort of controversy with parents. I could be wrong, but I think that's what prompted Netflix to be a bit more body inclusive with Tara in the Fate series, which I'm completely fine with for sure. But like I said, I do think a lot of the criticism did come from parents, and I didn't see a problem with it growing up, but as I got older, you know, I kind of do see where some parents are coming from with this. Flora joining Fate. It has been confirmed that Paulina Chavez will be playing Flora, an upcoming character who will appear in the second season of Fate the Winx Saga, originally going to end with Bloom meeting her parents. I think we can all agree at a certain point, Winx Club was just dragging on. It was like the 2010 version of Miraculous, basically. It literally is just like how Miraculous is being dragged on. In my opinion, Winx Club should have stopped after the first movie, because the main thing that was with Bloom from seasons 1 through 3 was the whole Bloom meeting her parents, right? That was the whole big thing. After the movie, and I think after season 4, it just becomes more of like the company milking the series, like Miraculous. I think the only difference with Miraculous and Winx Club though is Winx Club already had hit that point that the whole series was like building up from seasons 1 through 3, and it hit that point in the Secret of the Lost Kingdom movie. While with Miraculous, it has not even hit that point yet, to the point where there's episodes that like build up that whole thing that Marinette and Adrian are gonna know who they are as Cat Noir and Ladybug, that they're gonna know their identities, and it just never hits there. It's like there's too much filler for Miraculous. You get me? The show should have ended either at the movie or season 4, because after that, it just is just milking it at the point, because Nickelodeon was doing so well with season 3, season 4, and the Believe It season, which I believe was season 4 or 5. So I think that's why they continued going to milk the series. But other than that, the show should have ended at an early point. Mature to childish. Going back to what I was saying about the series should have ended at a certain point, I'm not wrong, and I think a lot of you all can agree with me. Because the show pushes the narrative and ages the characters up as they're in Althea, and then proceeds to put them back in the teenage level as they're already supposed to be adults, and just keeps them in high school when already they have already reached like a god level of fairy powers. They've gone through so many transformations at this point where it's god level. And I think the whole dynamic of the show was mature, especially in seasons 2 and 3. Season 2, because of the whole thing with Lord Darkar And Dark Bloom, oh, that was iconic. And then season 3, especially because the girls had to make sacrifices in order to get their Enchantix, which was supposed to be the end of the fairy powers, which I will get into later. But yeah, other than that, then the show just kept going downhill from there, as the maturity just was not there anymore. And it just made the girls very childlike in their designs also, compared to their original designs where they looked like teenagers. Also, because, I just need to ask, what the hell was this?
Now from the top, make it drop. That's some wet ass.
I want to apologize for that. I'm sorry you had to see that. But the way it lined up, though, it actually was not that bad. Enchantix was the best transformation. While we're at the topic of Butterflex, I think that's how you pronounce it, Enchantix had to have been the best transformation of all the Winx Club transformations. I think Enchantix and Sirenix, as they had the best songs, and both of them were also in 3D, but they had the best songs out of all of them. And yeah, I think those two had to have been my personal favorite compared to the rest of the transformations. Butterflex. But anyways, they were top tier. And I'm just going to show you guys the clips because why not? Why not?
What's happening?
Enchantix. Oh, Enchantix. I feel the power of the ocean, connecting with the deepest part of me. Sirenix underwater motion. Suddenly I'm soaring through the sea.
Musa and Riven's relationship. So there's the big controversy that Musa and Riven's relationship was toxic. And I remember not really liking them growing up. I preferred Sky and Bloom. But even looking at it now when I'm older, Sky and Bloom weren't even that good either. I think Timmy and Tekna and Aisha and Naboo were the best relationships. Because Sky and Bloom weren't that good also. And I will get into that later. But anyways, so Musa and Riven's relationship is probably the most well known for being toxic in the Winx Club series. And I'm gonna be honest with you all, growing up, because I watched Winx Club on Nickelodeon, at the time Victorious was also on Nickelodeon in 2011, past 2011. Anyways, so I remember always comparing Musa and Riven to Beck and Jade. And looking at it now, Beck and Jade was not a good comparison to make to Musa and Riven, as Beck and Jade are toxic. But even back then, I did see the similarity that they had with them always fighting, this and that. And looking at it now, Musa and Riven could be the most toxic, but a lot of people have given them the title of the most realistic relationship. When asked in the r/Winx Club subreddit, somebody gives their own interpretation of it. Musa and Riven's relationship. Let's start on their relationship. Their relationship has some ups and downs. At the end, they decide to break up. That relationship is called toxic. And you may ask, why did they break up? No, not because their relationship is toxic. It's because the writers did a bad job building Riven's character development. Riven is a bad boy tsundere, and we would like to see him be nice to Musa and stay that way. But no, the writers made Musa and Riven's relationship good at the end of the season, and they kept bringing back his bad boy attitude every start of a new season, that eventually they had to stop it by breaking them up and Riven leaving the specialist. So it's not him that's the problem, it's the writers that were responsible with Riven and Musa that are the problem. They could have kept Musa and Riven together by making Riven nice to Musa, but it's too late now. Walt Disney lawsuit. According to the Winx Club Wikipedia, in April 2004, the Walt Disney Company filed an unsuccessful copyright infringement lawsuit against Rainbow. The company accused Rainbow of copying the Winx Club concept from its WITCH Witch comic book, which was published over a year after the production on Winx Club began. Disney applied for an injunction order to halt the further release of the Winx Club series and comic magazine, to declare the Winx Club trademark invalid, and to seize the periodical and film material bearing the allegedly infringing Winx Club name. Rainbow won the case against Disney, and the judge declared that there were no confusing similarities between the two. Diaspro hate. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Looking at it now, Diaspro gives me vibes of Audrey from Descendants. Like, if you really think about it, like here in Descendants, Audrey was promised that she was going to be queen and she was going to marry Ben, this and that, and then Mal just comes in and, like, you know, takes her spot, right? And this is kind of similar to how Diaspro is, as Diaspro was promised that she was going to marry Sky, and Bloom just comes in, right? But to be honest, I kind of actually don't like Mal in Descendants. But that's another topic for another video. This isn't what this video is about. Now, there is a big thing I'm going to bring up revolving Sky, but because it has its own section in the Iceberg, I will bring it up in the next layer. In the r/Winx Club subreddit, the user Freedom1993 asks the question, why does everyone hate on Diaspro? As we all know, Diaspro is madly in love with Sky and has pursued him for years. I really don't like how the show portrays her as the obsessed villain, while Bloom and Sky are the victims for the underlying reasons. Number 1, Bloom thought she was a witch when they first met and attacked her. Then, she didn't even apologize after it was cleared up. Number 2, even when she did find out about her engagement to Sky, Bloom still pursued him. It doesn't matter that it was an unhappy relationship, she had no business coming in between them like that. Now, I will bring up this particular post later on in the next layer of the iceberg, as the third reason has to do with Sky. Another Redditor whose account is deleted adds on to the post by saying, Diaspro was well liked till season 3. After that, she was just blown out of proportion. She had been a respectable girl till then, but after her fiasco in season 5 and season 6, she just ended up looking like a total loser with no dignity or self-respect. The user Caprius Salmon also adds on to this by saying, with season 5 and season 6, it felt like Nickelodeon wanted an excuse for Ariana Grande to be in the new show right before she got mainstream. So they made the crew flanderize Diaspro. And no disrespect to Ariana, since I'm not her biggest fan, but she really didn't seem like the right voice for Diaspro. Sky was the problem, not Diaspro. Because we were just talking about Diaspro, and because we're already in the next layer, I figured why not talk about this one first, because I still have the Reddit post on my phone, so I'm going to read it right now. Anyway, so going back to the Reddit post by Freedom1993, I'm going to be reading the third bullet point they made in this post. Number 3, this is mostly Sky's fault for being a two-timing cheater. If anything, he is the bad guy in this situation. He is the crown prince of Heraklion, and marrying into nobility just to keep the royal family strong is his duty. He just decided to be an idiot and mess around with Bloom. Sky destroyed a young girl's heart and crushed her dreams. Yes, she was a spoiled brat, just like all people of noble birth, but she did not deserve the fate she got. The least Sky can do is be an adult and apologize to her for being so immature, and maybe sit down and talk about it, because she obviously holds a powerful grudge against Bloom. That way, both sides can move on with their lives. And if you really think about it, like just think about it, I think when you get older, you kind of see that there was a little problem with Bloom and Sky's relationship. Especially me, because I was such a big fan of their relationship growing up. And now I mainly just see the better relationships being Stella and Brandon, Flora and Hylia, and Timmy and Tekna. Those were like the good relationships. And Alicia and Nabu, of course. But like as you get older, you actually see that there was a problem with Sky and Bloom's relationship. And I'm going to be honest, the Fate series could have added this in. Like, they did not have to make Stella and Sky together. They could have kept the whole Diaspro and Sky thing there, because already that was mature. Like, looking at it now from a teenage perspective, I kind of think that was a bit mature to add into a kid's show, especially because Sky is like a two-timing cheater in a way. In a way, a two-timing player, I could say. Going back to the post that was made from the deleted Redditor's account, they also make the comment, for me, Bloom and Sky's relationship has mostly always been toxic. They start off their relationship based on lies, deception, and misunderstandings. I already made a post about this like a month or two ago, so I can't stand them either. Going through Reddit, a lot of people actually agree with the notion that Bloom and Sky's relationship was very toxic. And I have to agree also because there was a big lack of communication between the two. And Sky was basically just a player. You get me? And of course, we don't really see that as kids growing up. Because, you know, you mainly saw Musa and Riven being a quote-unquote toxic couple, which I still kind of think they are because of their constant fighting. But in Bloom and Sky's case, this was a big, severe lack of communication. I'm going to read one more Reddit post, and it is from the same user whose account is deleted. They responded to the comment, "Did Sky ever give Diaspro a chance to prove that she loved him, or did he just brush her off after a couple of interactions with her?" Their response is, "The thing is, we don't know. My thoughts are that when they got engaged, he really did try to get to know her, but the rich girl mentality didn't click with him, so he kind of ghosted her after that. Instead of being respectful and breaking off the engagement, his affair with Bloom was the reason the whole thing got blown out of proportion. That was totally wrong on Sky's part. He gave neither girl an apology for that. At the time, I understood why Diaspro did what she did in Season 3, though still extreme. Miss Magic's controversy. I'm going to be honest with all of y'all. I had never heard of this episode, nor have I heard of the controversy surrounding it. And I don't even recall watching the episode, especially when I was rewatching the series on YouTube. But I think I do recall a missing episode somewhere. And I'm not wrong. When you go to the official Winx Club YouTube channel and in their playlist for Season 1, there is a missing episode, which is episode 12, which is the Miss Magic's episode. I knew I wasn't going crazy, you know, I just thought they missed something, you get me? So I had no idea about this until working on this video. According to tvtropes.org, the Miss Magic's episode, episode 12 of Season 1, is a banned episode. All Cinelume broadcasts of this episode have been pulled from YouTube in 2020 because the scene where one of the contestants gets a frizzy afro sparked major controversy. According to the Winx Club wiki, in 2020, Rainbow removed official uploads of the episode except for the 4Kids version and a compilation including it, both uploaded by Winx Club English. Due to racial connotations in the scene where a girl's hair becomes a thick afro, the Cinelume version is still available on Apple TV and can be seen on DVD and the Italian version RaiPlay. 4Kids version completely edits out contestant 12's performance. While searching YouTube, another channel named Winx Club, mind you this is not the official channel, upload the full episode of episode 12 onto YouTube. I will show the scene in this video, however, when looking at the scene, Bloom goes and finds the girl with the afro crying about how her hair used to be straight and now it just poofed up. Bloom then proceeds to touch the girl's hair and Stella asks the question, "What is that?"
What's happened that's so terrible? A catastrophe.
Look what happened to my hair. Normally it's straight. I was just walking down the hall when poof, my whole head of hair puffed up just like that.
What is that? Aw.
Now the scene is pretty racist as it does shame the girl for having an afro, and it was a pretty good decision for the Winx Club company to pull the episode. I think the episode could have stayed if they just cut this particular scene out. But other than that, I think it was a good decision on the company to remove this episode. Magic Bloom. What I am showing you guys right now is the original pilot for Winx Club, back when it was going to be called Magic Bloom. We can see several similarities to this pilot and the actual show, such as Bloom, Tekna, and Stella's hair color and their hairstyle, the tricks, the ancestral witches, and certain aspects of the characters' costumes. Some differences we can see is Flora's costume as well as her hair color, but her hairstyle stays the same. The biggest change we can see in the pilot from the final draft is Musa. Musa's character design is completely different than how it is in the final draft. Musa is given green hair, much shorter hair, and her weapon of choice is a flute. It's actually really cool to see how these characters were originally going to look and the difference it has from the original version to the final draft. The full pilot has not been released and it is still partially found. Roxy had more potential. I think when we were all younger, we all thought that during the Believe It season, Roxy was going to be the 7th member of the Winx Club group. However, right after the season, she just becomes a background character to the point where we don't even see her anymore. According to a post made on the r/Winx Club subreddit by Elmos_world698, they post Roxy's wasted potential. I was recently watching a TikTok on Roxy and I feel like they wasted so much with her. The spell she could have gotten would have been amazing. Something like Armadillo Shield or Porcupine Needles or something more. Even convergent spells such as a combo Flora and Fauna attack or like a bat sonar with Musa. Even with Harmonix or Sirenix, she could have had Shark's Bite or maybe a convergence with Techna having to do with eels. Also, I feel like she could have had a regular Winx transformation and an Enchantix for when she saved the Earth Fairies. And why didn't she get the animal-themed transformation when she is the fairy of animals? It just doesn't make sense, I don't know, but I am just upset at the people behind the show. One response comes from the user, The Marinette August, in which they respond saying, Roxy had great potential as you state, but some people think that she wasn't needed. To be honest, the only thing I remember Roxy doing was helping the Winx in Season 6, find out what the bird was saying, and help them with the tricks. Although I am not completely sure, but that doesn't disregard the unexplained hate towards this character. She could have been a great addition to the Winx, maybe if Rainbow executed it well, or put her in a season where the Winx were very vulnerable, or just made a season which showed that. To my knowledge, Roxy does make an appearance in World of Winx. Enchantix is the final fairy form. What a lie! What a lie! If that was the case, we would have ended the show after the first movie. Because now they're already god-level fairies at this point. This one sentence was uttered by 2 characters in Season 3. One from Miss Farragonda and one from Flora when Aisha gets her Enchantix. I just have to laugh. Like, right after Season 3, we had like 6 more seasons with them getting new transformations to the point where they should be god fairies.
This year's final examination is a very important step to your training as fairies. Last year, the goal was to earn your Charmix. This year, your goal is to achieve final transformation. Should you be successful, you will gain access to new powers like fairy powder and miniaturization. This is your chance to become a full-fledged fairy.
Wow, she's beautiful. Awesome. That's her final fairy form. It's just like Miss Farragonda said.
Valtor was the best villain. No one can change my mind on this. He is what made Season 3 so good because of his motive. Valtor had like control on people and even the tricks to some extent, which I kind of didn't like how they were throwing themselves at him. But I don't know, Valtor gave me like the vibe of like one of those anime vampires for some reason. Like growing up, he gave me the vibe of a vampire. That also added to the fact that his mark would be on people's necks. So you get me, there goes the added theory that Valtor is a vampire. I'm just kidding about that anyways. Darkar was another good villain, but this was in Season 2, of course. I just think though, when it came to him, he wasn't really fighting, like physical fighting. Valtor was mainly about that, and like I said, I think that's what made Season 3 so great. I kind of didn't like when they brought him back though in the later seasons and they changed his design, because his design was so good in Season 3. And I think in like Season 8 when they brought him back and they also brought back Enchantix, I felt like they were trying to get the hype that they had for Enchantix and that entire 3rd season. And it was poorly executed in my opinion. And I'm going to be honest, what he did to Aisha in Season 3 stuck with me as a kid, because here Aisha was trying to protect her homeland and Valtor blinded her. That stuck with me as a kid, and I still remember her uttering the words that she's blind and she can't see, and I was livid. I was, oh my god, when I was younger. Like, he was such a good villain because it impacted me. Like, that scene in particular impacted me, as well as the scene when Bloom gets her Enchantix and she utters the words, Valtor will not win ever, stuck with me. So, in my opinion, he was the best villain of Winx Club. The Tricks were originally younger versions of the ancestral witches. According to the Winx Club wiki, the Tricks are a trio of sisters who act as antagonists at various points in the series. They physically appear in every season except season 4. They consist of 3 witches who are also sisters, and they descend from the ancient witches, the most powerful and evil of all witches to have ever existed. In the Dragon's Flame, the Tricks told Bloom that they were the descendants of the ancestral witches and understood the importance of the most powerful source of power in the universe, the Dragon's Flame on Domino, and when to take control of it. Helia was originally female. It has often been speculated on if Helia's character was originally going to be a female character. However, when doing some digging, it seems like this was not the case, that Helia was always intended to be a male character, just with a feminine sounding name. His character is a mix of feminine and masculine, which is pretty cool because, you know, growing up when Winx Club was airing, it wasn't really shown in kids' cartoons for the male character to be a feminine character, or at least have some sort of a feminine side to him. So I really liked that growing up, and Helia and Flora's relationship was so cute. The Fire Fairy game. I learned about this game like 2 years ago when I was doing research regarding a Winx Club video that I was doing. It was Winx Club, iCarly, and Miraculous because it was my opinion video on those shows that I liked, right? I have since taken down that video because it did go through the copyright block because of the miraculous scenes I used in there. Anyways, so many people have questioned on if this game actually existed. According to viralnova.com, it reads, 5-year-old Sofia Ezova, I'm sorry if I butchered her last name, was severely burned after sneaking into her family's kitchen late at night and turning on the stove's gas burners. In the article, Sofia's mother said, I woke up in the night and felt a strong smell of gas. My daughter, 7, had just left the kitchen and went to her room. It turns out that she had read on the internet that to become the Fairy of Fire, you need to go to the kitchen when everyone is asleep and switch on the gas oven. If I had not gone to check, our family of 8 would not wake up in the morning. Many people question on if this picture that I am showing you right now originated before or after the incident. This image that originated from Russia, translated into English, reads the following. At midnight when everybody is asleep, get up from your bed and go around the room 3 times, then say the magical words. Alfea Kingdom, sweet little fairies, give me the power I'm asking you. Then go to the kitchen silently so no one notices you or the magic of the words will disappear. Switch on the gas stove, all 4 burners, but do not light it. You don't want to get burns, do you? Then go to sleep. The magic gas will come to you, you will breathe it while sleeping, and in the morning when you wake up, say, thank you Alfea, I have become a fairy, and you will become a real fairy of fire. 2 characters are shown in the picture, one who is Bloom, and another character that does not look recognizable, but possibly Bloom in a completely different outfit. Many people speculated on if a video existed before the picture came out. People on Reddit found the video that was mentioned in the Snopes article about this incident. The video was posted in 2014, 3 years prior to the incident with the little girl. The video does feature this image that I'm showing you guys right now, so it is possible that this image was circulating around the internet long before the incident with the girl, meaning she could have stumbled upon this or the video. Or possibly both, as the video does feature the picture. The video is completely in Russian and there are no English subtitles, but according to people on Reddit, the guy behind the video makes a sarcastic comment about the whole challenge, and a lot of people do believe that kids, not knowing this was sarcasm, possibly did that. The quote-unquote magical gas in this challenge/game is basically carbon monoxide poisoning. Carbon monoxide can be very, very lethal, and if you are exposed to it for too long, it can kill you. It is unknown if any other kids were harmed in this challenge besides the Russian girl, Bloom x Veltor. I just have to ask, what is this? Oh my god. Bloom is 16. She is 16. And Veltor is like 1,000 years old. I just gotta question that for just a good while. I gotta question that for a good while. I never thought of that growing up. As you know, I was an avid Bloom and Sky shipper. And I just have to ask, why with this ship? You guys already know how I feel about ships like this that are pedophilic. You guys already know how I feel about this. And I've been seeing, like, on Reddit when searching this up, people using the excuse that Bloom is already 18. The thing is, though, in the later seasons, they keep her at 16, or they lower her age. She never really becomes an adult at all later in the series. They just have them go back to when they were teenagers. And that was already a problem I had with the show, because they always just kept making them the same age, even though in the earlier seasons they were already aging up. But Bloom and Veltor, really, guys? Really? I don't support it. Fully don't support it. So my final thoughts on this video have to be, it's finally done. I really hope you all enjoyed the video. Because it was Winx Club, and because I have not talked about Winx Club in so long, it felt really good to talk about it, as well as my own opinions of certain stuff that I thought. And I'd like to hear what you guys think down below about this certain stuff that we had in the lair. I'd love to hear discussions and conversations in the comments. Other than that, I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share. Comment down below what else you guys want me to talk about on my channel. This was a fun video. I really liked it. I actually really liked it, and I'm really happy you all recommended me to do it, because at the moment, I really haven't been doing a lot of Iceberg videos because of school. Because last year when we were in quarantine and online school, I had more time because I was at home. You get me? And with school in person now, I really don't have much time for Iceberg videos. So I'm really happy you all requested me to do this one, though. I'm really happy because it gave me a wave of nostalgia. A big wave of nostalgia. But anyways, like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Have a great day or night depending on where you live. Stay warm, and I'll see you guys next time on my channel. Bye, guys!